Have you ever replayed a tiny conversation in your head? One sentence, one pause, one look, and hours later you're still asking yourself, did I say something wrong? If yes, this video is about you. Because people who overthink small conversations aren't weak. They share hidden psychological traits most people never notice. Here's the psychology behind it. They have unusually high self-awareness. People who overthink conversations are constantly observing themselves, their tone, their words, their facial expressions. Psychology links this to high self-monitoring, a trait where the brain is always scanning for social feedback. While others move on, these people pause and analyze. What did they mean by that? How did I come across? It's exhausting. But it also means they're deeply aware of how actions affect others. This level of self-awareness often overlaps with emotional intelligence. They feel things deeply. They notice subtle shifts. And that makes small conversations feel big. Their brain is wired for threat detection. Overthinking isn't just emotional. It's neurological. The human brain evolved to detect social danger, rejection, embarrassment, exclusion. For some people, this system is more sensitive. So when a conversation feels slightly off, their brain treats it like a warning signal, a delayed reply, a shorter message, a neutral face. Their mind fills in the gaps, usually with worst-case scenarios. Psychologists call this negativity bias, the tendency to focus more on potential threats than neutral facts. They're not dramatic. Their brain is just trying to protect them, a little too much. They grew up learning that words matter. Many chronic overthinkers learned early in life that saying the wrong thing had consequences. Criticism, misunderstanding, emotional distance. So they adapted. They learned to replay conversations to avoid future mistakes, to analyze reactions, to read between the lines. This becomes a learned pattern, a survival skill turned mental habit. The mind thinks, if I understand this perfectly, I'll be safe next time. But safety turns into mental noise. They care deeply about connection. Here's the part no one talks about. People who overthink small conversations usually value relationships more than average. They don't treat interactions as disposable. They care about how others feel. They care about being understood. This links to high agreeableness and empathy in personality psychology. They imagine how their words land on the other person's mind. So when a conversation ends unclearly, their brain refuses to close the file, because connection matters to them. They mistake thoughts for facts. One of the biggest psychological traps overthinkers fall into is cognitive fusion. That's when thoughts feel like reality. If they didn't laugh, they must be upset. If the reply was short, they must be annoyed. But thoughts are not evidence, they're interpretations. Overthinkers often assume responsibility for things they can't control. Other people's moods, energy, or timing. The mind tries to create certainty where none exists, and uncertainty feels unbearable. So here's the truth. Overthinking small conversations doesn't mean you're socially awkward. It often means you're perceptive, emotionally tuned in, and deeply human. But awareness without boundaries becomes anxiety. The real growth begins when you learn this. Not every thought deserves your attention. Not every silence needs an explanation. And not every moment is a judgment of you. Sometimes, a conversation is just a conversation. If this felt like someone was reading your mind, you're not alone. And if you want more psychology that actually understands how people feel, you know what to do.